Hi, I'm Fawn Annan, President and CMO at IT World Canada, and I'm sitting here this fabulous day with Lynda Partner from Pythian, who is their CMO. Anyway, I thought we'd start off by talking about what Pythian actually does, and then what your mandate is as CMO in Pythian.
Pythian's a 400-person IT services company that's headquartered in Ottawa, but has people all over the world, in fact in 34 different countries. And our mission in life is to help organizations adopt technology to drive better business outcomes. And really that means two things. One is it means that we help them with operational excellence, so the critical systems that drive their businesses are reliable and predictable and work in a scalable fashion. And secondly, we also help them with continuous transformation. So adopting technologies to help them change and grow and keep up and better their competition.
Can you give us some examples of that, Lynda?
Sure. I can think of two good examples for you. On the operational excellence side, for example, we work with a major retailer who puts $1 billion of revenue each year through a single database. And if that database were to fail or even to stop operating perfectly, it would have significant impacts on their business. So we keep that system operational, we keep it performing well, we keep it available to make sure that their revenue flow isn't disrupted. On the continuous transformation side of the business, we help companies gather up all of the data that they have available about their customers and bring it into a central location and allow them to see a 360-degree view of their customer that's never been possible until now. And with the knowledge of their customer, they can now develop new services and new products, new markets, new opportunities that suddenly become available because they can actually see what's going on in their business through their data.
You work in an incredibly technical environment, and obviously big data analytics is not only part of your product service set, but it's also how you do your work. How do you see that evolving as we actually, get to the next phase of these new types of technologies?
Yeah, it's fascinating when you work in a company that's very data driven and every question has to be answered with what does the data say. Then it allows you an opportunity to exercise how you can use data for marketing. And it's fascinating how much you can learn about what programs are effective, which not just generate leads in the case of marketing, but also produce revenue. So if you can trace back everything that you do in terms of your inputs and then how it translates into revenue using data, then you get insights and knowledge that very few people have. Because as we both know, until now, it's been difficult to see what dollars produce the best outcomes from a marketing perspective.
Almost like a manufacturing line, you have multiple people touching data at any one point before it actually gets to you. How do you know it's good data?
That's a great question. I think the short answer is that we don't. So when we started looking at how to pull together all of our data into a single place so we could analyze it, we discovered that we had 19 different sources of data. And when we started to get it all together and into a single spot, the techies would say to me, but the data might not be good, the data might not be good. So, we have to get the data clean first. And, what I realized very quickly is that nobody's data is perfect. But the course of analyzing the data made it very apparent where the weaknesses were. And organizations who start pulling together multiple sources of data have the benefit of seeing all of their data, but it also exposes weaknesses in the quality of the data. And that's a good thing because it lets you say, this is the area that we have to improve if we're going to get better results.
With all this data and analysis and in a very busy omni-channel world, what do you do that allows your company to stand out?
Keeping with the data for marketing theme, I think we've been very fortunate. Pythian's been around for 19 years and from the very beginning was able to implement a policy of tracking every single thing that every single person does to support the customer experience. So we have over 2 millennia of data that's been captured about our customers and about the work that we do. So we've been able to tap into a richness of data that allows us to track our customer journey from the minute they come to our website to the moment that they respond to a survey that tells us how well we're doing for them, and correspondingly produce interactions with our clients that are based on them, not based on us, because we have that kind of data. We've been very fortunate that way.
In your other role as chair of Women Communications and Technology, WCT, which I'm also part of, you had launched through Pythian this great diversity program. I was wondering if you could share that with us.
Yeah, Pythian's brand is very much focused on attracting the best talent in the world. And because we operate digitally and remotely, we can afford to go and find the best people regardless of where they're located and recruit them. But we realized very quickly that when we weren't able to find the right ratio of men to women, in fact, there were more men who were available than women, that we really had to do something to basically create an unfair advantage for Canadian organizations and give them access to more women who could join the IT organizations. So through WCT, who were willing supporters of this, we elected to start a program that's called Up the Numbers. And Up the Numbers is really two things. One, it's about the data, measuring the number of women who are actually in IT roles, and in particular in technical roles in companies and in management roles in companies, and track that over time so that we can see whether we're actually improving the numbers. Because with 50% of the population available, but not necessarily in the right roles, Canada's IT economy isn't as strong as it could be. The second part of it is to actually get the smartest brains together who support the idea of increasing diversity and work together to develop programs that help organizations attract, retain, promote, and grow female talent as they do right now with male talent.
What do you see as some of the hot trends for marketers on the scene today?
Wow, there's a couple of them. First of all, data and technology. I think it's very difficult for us to be able, as marketers, to continue to do our jobs without accessing the data. Because increasingly, we're being asked to show the return on investment of our marketing dollars, and in particular, in the form of revenue that we generate as a result of our efforts. So without having the data to say, these programs are effective and these ones are less effective, it's difficult for us to optimize. So that need to use data to drive marketing is a really big trend that I don't think is going away for long. And tied to that is the use of technology with marketing automation and all of the technologies that are available to support digital marketing right now. Marketing people have to become very comfortable with technology. And the role of the marketing technologist is gaining predominance in a lot of organizations, and I see that continuing. And that relationship between the CMO and the CIO is so incredibly important because, the marketer can't be successful with the help of technology, and technology comes from the IT side of the business. And lastly, I think account-based marketing is a really huge trend in B2B. And what I love about account-based marketing is it's no longer just broadcast marketing. It's very specific and very targeted and allows you to craft your messages in such a way that the person that you want to reach your message, to receive your message, is actually getting the right message, the message that will resonate with them.
Lynda, there's a sea of data out there. How do other businesses not quite set up, such as yourself, handle it and really get to what it means?
Well, the short answer, Fawn, is that they hire Pythian to help them. But, without being so tongue-in-cheek, I think the first step is you just have to start. And, understanding data and leveraging your data to produce insights is a journey. And the journey starts with getting all of your data in one spot. I read somewhere in a report that the average marketer has 50 sources of data. So just the exercise of getting all that data into a single spot is the most important first step. And then after that, it's the exploration of the data, where you have to try not to figure out the answer ahead of time. You just have to explore and see what's in there. And yes, that does require expertise that's difficult to find in this day and age, but the end result, when you can get insights that basically say to you, I can triple the ROI on a marketing program if I make these changes that I discovered, it's well worth whatever the cost is.
What would you like to see CMO share with their peers?
Oh, that's a great question. I think, again, following on my theme of data and tracking, when we do go through this work and we start to look at things like our conversion rates and our return on our investment, it'd be really great to benchmark how we're doing compared to other organizations that are similar to ours. And I find, in particular in Canada, that there's a shortage of community among CMOs, and it would be really great if we could create a community of people who are willing to honestly share their results and their data and help each other develop better programs to be more effective as marketers. Because if we as an industry can help our companies be more successful and more innovative, then that's good for all of us, and it's good for Canada as well.
Well, that gives me something else to do then. Thank you.
Thanks,
That was
Fawn.
great.